Welcome to the Daily Vibecasting. Ready for your brisk daily download of what's buzzing across X? We're diving deep into 12 significant posts shaping conversations today. Think of this as your essential fast-paced guide.
Absolutely. Today's deep dive covers a fascinating range. We've got cutting-edge tech, global affairs, market trends, cultural stuff too. We've curated these to give you valuable insights, connecting the dots quickly so you grasp not just what's happening, but really why it matters.
Okay, let's jump right in. First post, this is from @Nikita her. So what are your hobbies? Me, suspending accounts with free crypto giveaway on their profiles. Huh. Gotta love the humor there, but yeah, it points to a very real problem, doesn't it?
It really does. And Nikita Beer, well, he's head of product at X, so he's right in the thick of it, fighting this kind of fraud. We've seen this massive surge in crypto scams. The FTC actually reports losses jumped from like 9% to a huge 26% of all U.S. fraud losses just between 2020 and 2024.
Wow, 26%.
Yeah. They use fake celebrity endorsements, phishing, all sorts of tricks. But the key thing here, the insight, is that automated tools like Beer's working on, especially with AI detection, they can cut scam prevalence significantly. It's a constant battle, though. Requires vigilance from all of us.
Definitely a stark reminder to stay sharp online.
Yeah.
Okay, shifting gears now. The future of work. Quite a prediction here from @UnusualWhales, quoting Jason Calacanis. It says, before 2030, you're going to see Amazon, which is massively invested in AI, replace all factory workers and all drivers. It'll be 100% robotic. Every Amazon worker, UPS, gone. FedEx, gone, per Jason Calacanis.
Yeah, it is. Well, that's incredibly aggressive. A bit unsettling, frankly.
That's very bold. Jason Calacanis, he's a prominent tech investor, and his prediction definitely reflects the speed of AI and robotics advancements. Amazon is investing heavily. Generative AI for listings, FBA automation. And look at UPS. Their Velocity facility processes hundreds of thousands of items daily with bots.
So it's already happening to some extent. Exactly. But the 2030 timeline, that's ambitious. There are big challenges, especially things like last mile delivery. The core insight, though, is how fast this shift is happening compared to past industrial revolutions. It raises urgent questions about retraining, new skills, societal adaptation, really.
It really makes you think about career paths, the skills we'll need, the whole system. Okay, next up, power dynamics. This post from @Pult is provocative. Jerome Powell is ignoring an order from the President of the United States. That's quite a claim. Let's unpack this.
It is provocative. So Jerome Powell, Fed chair since 2018. This touches on the Federal Reserve's independence, right? It was set up over a century ago specifically to keep politics out of monetary policy. Powell himself has consistently pushed back on pressure, saying the Fed serves all Americans.
And there's a reason for that independence.
Oh, absolutely. Economic research pretty consistently shows that independent central banks correlate with lower, more stable inflation. Think maybe 2% versus 4% inflation in systems without that independence. The debate's ongoing, of course, but many experts warn that political interference could really damage the economy long term. It's about stability for your wallet, essentially.
That separation of powers is fundamental then. Okay, now for some breaking news alerts. We've got two here from @ZeroHedge and @Kobe's Letter, both saying, Microsoft, multiple international subsea cables cut in Red Sea. And the other, breaking. Microsoft says multiple international subsea cables have been cut in the Red Sea. This sounds major. Big disruption.
It is significant. Yeah, Microsoft confirmed the cuts. And these cables, well, they carry something like over 95% of all international data. They're absolutely critical.
Oh, 95%. Wow.
And the Red Sea is a major choke point for this infrastructure. Repairs. They're expensive, millions, and can take days, sometimes longer. The key insight here is just how vulnerable our global digital infrastructure is, even though we don't see it. Disruptions in strategic spots like this can have huge ripple effects. Economic, informational, across continents.
And is this accidental? Or?
Well, that's the question. We've seen incidents before, like the Peace Cable earlier this year, another one last year.
Well,
some suggest intentional damage, possibly linked to ongoing Houthi activities. It highlights a real geopolitical vulnerability.
A stark reminder of our interconnected fragility. Okay, from deep sea cables, let's go to space. @SpaceX posted, watch Falcon 9 launch 24 Starlink satellites to orbit from California, followed by the link. Always exciting seeing SpaceX launch, pushing those connectivity boundaries.
It really is quite something. Their goal is ambitious, enhancing global internet. Starlink's already in, 130 countries. The constellation's huge, over 7,600 satellites now. And a big part of how they do it so fast is the reusable Falcon 9s. That's cut launch cost dramatically, maybe 40% since 2016.
Makes sense. But are there downsides?
There are. The key insight involves a trade-off. Extending internet to remote areas is great, bridging the digital divide, but astronomers are concerned all those satellites create light pollution, interfering with telescope observations. So access versus science, it's a tricky balance.
Access versus science. A fascinating dilemma. Okay, next up, a post that sparked a huge debate about public conduct. This is from @JackPosobiec. The dad is even more at fault than the Phillies, Karen. If you stand up to them, they lose their power. He failed in front of his son. Never back down. Weak men create hard times. Whoa, that's a strong take. Touches on masculinity, public disputes.
It definitely taps into that specific weak men create hard times narrative, which, doesn't have much empirical backing but resonates historically for some. What's interesting, though, is that the father's choice to de-escalate, that actually aligns better with psychological research suggesting it reduces stress, legal risks.
So de-escalation is often smarter.
Often, yes. And the community reaction was fascinating, too. The incident went viral, but then there was huge support for the father. He got a signed bat from Harrison Bader, things like that. The insight here might be a societal shift. While some champion confrontation, maybe we're seeing more value placed on collective support and de-escalation in these public moments.
Collective action changing the narrative. Interesting. Okay, shifting to media integrity, a leading report posted. Breaking, CBS News announced it will stop editing interviews and will only broadcast live or live-to-tape interviews from now on.
That feels like a pretty big shift in media practice, towards more unfiltered reporting. It seems that way. It's reportedly a direct response to pressure, specifically after a complaint from Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem about an edited interview. This is happening in a wider context, right? Media practices are under intense scrutiny. There was a legal change back in 2012 related to government info dissemination domestically, which has ramped up calls for transparency from different quarters.
So it's about rebuilding trust.
That seems to be the goal, yeah. The key insight is that major news outlets are actively adjusting how they present information, aiming for more perceived transparency in this really charged environment. It definitely affects how you, the listener, might gauge news credibility.
Absolutely.
Okay,
next, a stark question about local impact from @Cernovich. Indiana, are you ready for 40,000 Haitians? That brings global crises very close to home.
right. This post directly frames the situation around Indiana preparing for Haitian asylum seekers. It references LT Governor Micah Beckwith meeting with Haitian pastors. The driver here is Haiti's ongoing crises, especially the 2021 earthquake. And it's not just Indiana. We saw a huge surge in Haitian asylum claims in Mexico back in 2021. It's a regional pattern hitting the U.S. now.
And the politics around it seem tense.
Potentially. The comments were apparently disabled on the LT Governor's original post, which can sometimes indicate political sensitivity. The main insight, though, is how global events and humanitarian crises directly impact local communities. It forces complex conversations about assimilation, resources, policy. The connection is very direct.
A clear example of that global-local link.
Okay.
Moving to law enforcement, a powerful declaration here from @FBI Director Cash. The FBI is putting parallel cartels on notice. We're not playing defense, we're eliminating drug and cartel trafficking at the source. With Los Choneros and Los Lobos now designated as foreign terrorist organizations, their drug money pipelines are drying up. It continues, but that's the gist. A major policy shift signaled.
It really is. Designating Los Choneros and Los Lobos, these are Ecuadorian groups, as FTOs is a big step. They're linked to cartels driving that horrific rise in fentanyl deaths in the U.S., up like 300% since 2018. This aggressive, eliminating at the source stance. It marks a real shift from past FBI priorities where, transnational crime often got a smaller slice of the resources, according to older DOJ reports.
So a more proactive approach.
Exactly. That's the key insight. Evolving law enforcement priorities focusing on proactive source elimination. But this also comes amidst ongoing public scrutiny. You see it in the online chatter sometimes, like the post including an Epstein Files meme referencing the recent release of, over 33,000 pages of related records just a few days ago on September 3rd. Balancing new initiatives with public trust is always key.
Right. New threats, historical scrutiny. It's a complex. Okay, this next one from @Antisthetics captures that internet mix of humor and instant speculation. It relates back to those Red Sea cables. They list several prominent accounts. Gunther Eagleman, no posts in 12 hours, Hunter Eagleman, no posts in 12 hours, LibTier creator, no posts in 12 hours, and so on with the Game of Thrones image. It's funny, but connects dots immediately, doesn't it?
It really does. It's using humor to float this mini conspiracy theory, linking silent accounts to the Red Sea cable cuts that were reportedly affecting internet in parts of Pakistan and India just yesterday. And that vulnerability it hints at, it's real. Remember the Tonga outage in 2022? Weeks to fix. Other cuts have caused months of disruption. The insight here, beyond the joke, is just how fragile our digital world is. And get this, something like 70% of cable faults are apparently due to human activity. Raises questions about accidents versus, well, something else.
Makes you think about those hidden digital threads we rely on. Okay, final post. At Greg16676935420 with a classic grammar pet peeve, but making a point. Not knowing the difference between your and your should disqualify you from being president.
Huh. Yeah, this one's aimed at a fake Conor McGregor fan page that made that exact error your for your while pretending he was running for president of Ireland.
And is the real McGregor actually interested?
He is, genuinely, it seems. He even met Donald Trump recently to talk about Irish issues, but he's not actually eligible yet. Age requirements, needing nominations from parliament members or local authorities. It's complicated under Ireland's constitution.
So the grammar post was mocking a fake account, but touches on real aspirations.
Exactly, and the insight. In our age of viral everything, even small details like grammar can really hit perceived credibility, especially for public figures or wannabes. It's amazing how much it can shape perception, even from a joke post about your versus your.
Attention to detail matters, even grammar. Okay, what a whirlwind. Crypto scams, robot futures, Red Sea cables, Phillies fans, grammar. X is definitely a window into, well, everything shaping our world.
It really is. A single platform reflecting such a huge spectrum of human activity, worry, innovation, even humor. It's fascinating. And it raises a question for you listening. How do you make sense of this daily flood? How do you filter it? And did any connections we talked about today spark a new thought or change your perspective a bit?
That is a powerful thought to leave you with. Keep looking for those aha moments. Join us next time for another deep dive into the sources that matter. Until then, stay curious.